ship. I said ship, not what you thought I said.
I heard ship.
Yeah. Welcome to the SKIDS Podcast. I'm Shane Kopke. I am here with Tim Gage. And what the fuck is that? Nope.
Oh, the squeaky toy?
Hey, what's that for?
I think it's cute.
What the fuck is that? I don't get it. Anyway, and Kevin McNichols.
Nobody asked you, Kevin.
Nobody asked you.
Nobody ever does.
That's been a weird fucking week with all the crazy domestic terrorism shit.
Yeah. There's been a whole lot of that.
Well, so Tesla dealerships are being targeted and Tesla owners are being targeted.
Yes.
On top of it, one of the things they did, we talked about last week, where they were doxing Tesla owners and fucking putting that on a website.
Yeah.
That website's down now, as far as I know. But the crazy thing I'm seeing online in the chatter about it is the back and forth between people that go, no, this isn't domestic terrorism at all. And it's like,
yeah.
if you read the definition of terrorism, it is to cause fear. What is it? Either using violence, or what's the other portion of that?
Violence, arson, and just destruction of property,
Yeah,
destruction of buildings and public property, that sort of thing.
And to a political gain.
Yeah.
Or political means.
To push a political idea or stance or something.
And
Which this is absolutely falls under that definition.
Well, which is one of the reasons why I always had the argument against like school shootings. Those technically are not terrorism acts.
No,
they're not.
No,
they definitely terrorize, but they're not based on it. I mean, unless they're all politically driven.
It's I think it more falls under like a spree killing.
It's just crazy
like
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you
definition of domestic terrorism. The actual definition of domestic terrorism involves violent acts that are inspired by domestic influences such as political, religious, social, racial, or environmental goals.
Boom. Falls right under
And
that.
then terrorism itself is the use of violence or threats of violence to achieve political or ideological goals.
And I would say that burning things up and blowing things up.
Definitely an ideology.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, they don't like Musk.
Yeah, exactly. And
They loved him 10 years ago. That's why
They
they all
did.
bought his cars.
I think even less than that.
Yeah, I think it was less than that.
Because during the first Trump presidency, they still liked Elon.
Like they used to call him, he was the left's darling.
Yeah.
At one point.
That's what I mean. All the lefts were buying his fucking cars.
Absolutely.
Well, not just that. They all still wanted to go to space. Now they don't want to
Yeah.
go to space. They're just already in space.
Yeah.
His brains are
Well,
rotting.
and then a lot of the stuff that was happening during the BLM riots also could be considered political or domestic
Well,
terrorism
it's
as
not
well.
considered. They were
Yeah.
fiery but peaceful protests.
Fiery but peaceful protests.
Well,
That
no,
was the most ridiculous thing ever.
My favorite one was the reporter standing there. This mostly peaceful protest as shit's burning behind him,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
hearing breaking windows.
Yep.
You're like, what? That'd be like being in Ukraine and being like, it's a mostly peaceful war.
Yeah,
as you're
yeah.
seeing somebody get mowed down in a trench and then fucking, in drops the fucking drones and
Yeah,
shit.
fucking kamikaze drone just takes 3 people out.
They're selling those on the TikTok shop now.
Drones?
Kamikaze drones.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing a lot
What
of
the
those.
fuck?
Yep. They actually have a fake bomb attached to it. They show the video of it flying over, aiming and dropping. And I think you can purchase it for $59.99.
That'd be fun as shit for airsoft.
Yeah, airsoft.
Oh yeah. Airsoft. That would be kind of cool.
That's everything that I do is air. It's all air.
Yeah.
I cosplay.
Yeah.
It's an airsofter.
Well, there's also a lot of independent journalists now that are actually on either side of the war, on the Ukrainian side and Russian side, that are broadcasting video. And there was this really interesting one. This guy's on the Russian side, and he's an American reporter. And he was in a truck, a pickup with these Russian soldiers, and they got chased by a Ukrainian drone. And these guys were shooting at it, and they actually shot it down. But everybody in the truck was like, "Oh fuck, we almost fucking died, guys!" Like it got
That's a
really
war
close.
crime. I swear to God, there's no way that can be a valid means of war. That's terrible.
It technically
it's-
isn't.
Yeah, drone warfare is terrifying.
And I think the reason being behind it is because it's so new of a technology that if you look into like the Geneva Conventions and all this shit, It's technically it's just a pinpoint artillery piece.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, those things didn't exist when those agreements.
I
were
mean, we
made.
had those drones that were piloted that did like airstrikes and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
UAVs.
UAVs.
Yeah, but
I also know a
this
lot
is
of
completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a lot of people that actually believe that those were war crimes too.
Yeah, well,
Because we were dropping them on fucking like I don't know weddings and you know
Villages full of innocent people. And
guys
Yeah.
sitting in an
you know.
air-conditioned office. Just there goes another family.
there's no air conditioning. Afghanistan.
What? Some of them were from. I mean, I saw a movie with Ethan Hawke where he was one of those pilots, and he was literally in Las Vegas and flying.
I thought you were talking about dropping it on an air conditioned office.
No,
I was like, yeah,
being
it's,
flown from an air-conditioned
Yeah.
office or piloted, I guess you could say.
they're usually piloted out of
Shipping containers.
yeah
and
shipping
shit.
containers that are set up specifically for that. They're out in like the Arizona desert
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
Oh well, on some of these, the reporters that are with some of these soldiers, like the one that was with the Russian soldiers, he went to one of these drone operators and he was hanging out with him and just seeing what he's doing day to day, you know. And this guy was literally in like this little shack that they had dug like a lower portion out, you know, for a little, you know, to be a little more hidden. But he was sitting in there. He had a bed, like closet. They had a TV going in the background with like Russian like comedy shows on, and he's just doing his thing, piloting
America's
the drone.
Funniest Home Videos.
And yeah, but
Nothing but Bob Saget.
Yeah, but he's just piloting the drone. He's like, oh yeah, we're trying to blow these two guys out of this little spider hole that they dug, and you know I'm about to drop like 3 more grenades on them, and you know,
Well,
and it's just all casual, you know, just
It's
day-to-day shit.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And speaking of the psychological aspect of it, I mean, the video that we watched on here, I don't know, a month ago, of the 2 North Korean soldiers,
Oh yeah.
where the drone is just fucking with them until one shoots the other
Yeah.
by accident. You
Mhm.
know, he's trying to shoot the drone, ends up shooting his friend, and then they go and blow the other guy up.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, 2 for 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they usually try to get him in a group anyway.
But yeah, the
Well,
drone warfare has really
Do you
changed
think
the
that's
game.
that's the next step for these domestic terrorists with their firebombs and shit like
Yeah.
that?
Just dropping them with
Why
drones.
not just fly a fucking drone in there? And
Dude,
don't
I would
wanna
not
put
be
any
su-
ideas in someone's head.
I would
Oh,
not be
whoops.
surprised if that kind of shit would start happening.
Wow.
All it takes is one savvy person that goes,
Doesn't even need to be savvy.
no, savvy enough. Instead of going with the old school way of let's throw Molotov cocktails or let's get up close and burn things, a savvy guy that's like, why would we want to do that? I could fly it from here. The problem with that, they could probably trace those signals.
Oh, that's true. And in the war over Ukraine-Russian war, they are doing that. Like both armies, when they find a drone, when the drone's coming at them, you know, and they take it out, they then can triangulate and figure out like a range of what that drone probably had, and they can go search for the pilot and kill him. And they've been doing that.
Well, they also, if they catch one of those guys, it's not good for that person.
No, they
Both
usually
sides-
just kill him.
Well,
you know?
I'm sure they fuck
Often
them up
enough.
first.
Oh, for sure.
big time.
No, they don't. No, that'd be a war crime.
Wow. I mean, I remember when Russia was in Syria, I watched war crimes from them.
There's always war crimes in war.
Well, yes, but they're usually not televised.
No.
This one, they captured somebody and they're just trying to hit him with a fucking sledgehammer. So it's obviously Wagner Group. I mean, that's who did that. Wagner Group Wagner Group's the one that we ended up fucking killing like 220 of them or whatever that, which is
Is the PMC group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really technically part of the Russian military. They're just far enough removed to where we can be like, well, we didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
type of thing. And so they can commit
They
those war
got
crimes.
deniability.
Yes. Until they killed the fucking leader of it by crashing his plane. You know? Like that's the thing. They'll do in Russia, they'll do anything.
Yeah.
You know, Putin, I mean, he's radioactively poisoned people and fucking, you know, it's just wild shit.
Yeah, he learned a lot from the KGB.
Well, imagine if either side brought that here. Like, the shit that's going on with Tesla would be fucking way crazier.
Oh,
You'd
absolutely.
be seeing, like,
Absolutely.
CEOs or board members dropping.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like Luigi Mangione all over again.
Oh yeah, it'd be like basically the mob, but with CEOs and like, you know, corporate guys getting gunned down and
Yeah.
their car bombed and all this other shit.
With homemade printed suppressors.
Yes. But okay, so back on the Tesla thing though, because of all the fact that this has been widespread now, it's getting worse and worse. The FBI is now launching a task force, and they are going to be going hard after people that are committing these crimes.
Well, they should. Here's the other thing
Yeah.
that's funny about the whole people attacking Tesla stuff. Teslas have a thing called Sentry Mode. And if your vehicle's in Sentry Mode, it's recording everything that's going on around it at all times.
Is that how that guy? Do you hear about the guy that keyed the Tesla and got
yeah.
arrested?
That's going on a lot,
yeah,
dude. There's so many people doing that shit.
Is that how
Yes.
he got caught?
Yes.
Okay, the Sentry Mode.
Most of the videos that you're seeing from like a low perspective and catching the vandal doing whatever,
Yeah.
that's from the Sentry Mode. That's from Tesla. It records automatically to a server. That server saves it automatically, and there you go. Now you've put evidence of yourself doing something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that guy, somebody walked up to him, saw him, and was like, "Hey, dude, you're all over the internet. Like, why'd you key that Tesla?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I didn't do that." And he's like, No, it was you. Like, everybody's been watching the video. Like, it's definitely you."
Yeah.
And he just kind of walked away grumbling, but he ended up getting arrested.
I ended up watching one that was similar to that one, almost to the T.
Yeah.
Dude went and keyed a Tesla in town. Was out of state guy, and they're like, "We've got, your husband needs to come out here to the wife. We've got video of you doing this." And he's like, "Oh shit," and then he gets arrested and taken in because the person wanted to prosecute. They're like, "No, this is fucked up."
Absolutely.
All because
Yeah.
I think they had a Trump bumper sticker on it or some shit like that.
It's
you know?
ridiculous the way people respond. Like we were talking before, the Trump derangement syndrome. How if Trump's name's tied to it, it's bad.
Yeah.
And it needs to be destroyed and ended. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the way
is.
people are reacting to this.
It-
Because, again, what, 80% of them are all left-leaning anyway? Tesla owners?
Yeah, probably.
That's
Pretty
that's
close.
why they purchased the electric
Yeah.
cars, which the Republicans hated. They thought, electric cars are stupid, and I still believe that. They're a far larger carbon footprint than a fucking diesel engine. That's for fucking sure.
They-
Well, you
do.
want to know what else is also a big carbon footprint? Burning fucking Tesla batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes, if you're environmentally friendly, you don't want to be burning those and putting that into the
That's
atmosphere.
what I'm saying. It's not only counterproductive, but it's going exactly against the exact things you quote unquote believe in.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, also just having to, when you get rid of these cars and have to like destroy them or they sit in like a junkyard for years.
Yeah.
Those things sitting there actually cause real damage to the environment too, because it's happening over in China where they're pumping out all these electric vehicles and then they just leave them in these fields, like hundreds and thousands of them, because nobody's buying them. But they're putting them out. They're making them so that they can pump their numbers up and stuff artificially.
Yeah, they're trying to make a quota. You have to,
Exactly.
like I think dealerships had to do that. There was a law passed where they have to sell at least a certain percentage of electric trucks in order to stay in business.
I think California is the worst for
Yeah,
that.
it's it's so dumb.
But-
and that's $100,000 fucking truck.
Well, do you guys remember in talking about like environmental impacts and shit like that? Do you guys remember there was that company that was an up-and-comer as Tesla was fairly well known at the time. But it was down in Florida when one of the tornadoes hurricanes came through, and their entire place flooded and every car caught fire because of the fucking lithium and water, doesn't
Yeah,
mix.
that's a no-no.
Yeah.
But every single car, and that company went under because of that. Not just because of the water, but went under because of the whole fucking
Right.
fire going on. But I mean, it literally burned like, I'd say like 90% of their inventory, and everything else is a loss anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, saltwater touching fucking vehicles
Yeah.
that haven't been sold
Rusted
yet.
out and destroyed.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long at all with
Well,
saltwater.
it's not only firebombs. They're shooting Tesla dealerships up, like drive-by shootings and shit like that. It's happened a lot in Portland. They're just shooting at cars. They're just shooting at Teslas.
I think Portland, they just want a reason to shoot.
Yeah, could be.
Well,
I mean,
They're going to lose their rights soon anyway.
I mean, a lot of the
That's
people
true.
in Portland, I mean, not everybody, but quite a few people in Portland are just mentally ill. They have been absolutely ideologically entrenched and have become mentally ill.
when I used to love going to Portland.
I did too. It used to be a wonderful city.
And I didn't care about it wasn't left, right. I didn't give a
No.
shit about any of that.
No.
It's, the whole Keep Portland Weird, I was fine with it. Was great at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Now it's gone downhill.
Absolutely. It's become...
I hate it for the same reasons I did 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I just don't like seeing homeless people piss on themselves and on the side of the road. It's fucking disgusting.
It was never as bad as it's gotten,
I was going to say, back then you should have just stayed out of Chinatown then.
No, I was at 7-Eleven right next to where I work. Just watched the homeless dude go in and piss his pants. It's like, God, I fucking hate this town.
Where was that 7-Eleven?
Right by the Grotto.
I don't know where the Grotto is.
82nd and Sandy.
Okay, so no, it's not the one I'm thinking of.
That's
there was
a nice neighborhood, too.
Well, there was one 7-Eleven that I would go to all the time when I'd go down skateboarding. There was a homeless guy that just hung out there, and he was obviously fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So anytime we would skate there, it'd be like, what the fuck? Is this guy going to snap today?
Yeah, right.
You know? And then
Which one of us is going to get stabbed?
And then I got trespassed.
Oh, did you?
For skateboarding there.
Oh, okay.
They didn't like it.
Yeah, you can't skateboard, but you can set up a tent in the middle of the fucking sidewalk and piss and shit on the side of it. That's fine.
I think that's why he got away with it. He didn't have a tent. I think he used newspapers. So that's okay.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
that place is so upside down.
Oh yeah, Portland's just it's a trash heap now. It's.
Well, I remember the 90s. It was all about the gang violence. It was
in Portland.
Yeah. In
the
late 80s and early 90s, the gang violence was pretty bad.
Huh.
That might have been the narrative. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't
From what I remember of that time, I know one of my mom's friends, ended up she wore red on one of the Maxes, and fucking could have lost her life based on how she reacted to it, because she was like, I'm not taking this, that type of shit. But there was a lot of gang violence and stuff down there, like stabbings and shit on Maxes and shootings constantly. It happened all the time.
It still happens to this day.
It still does, but it died down in the late 90s, early 2000s on the gang side. But then you had all this other stuff that they started, the policy started shifting and allowing more homeless and stuff. Yeah. Now you've got the overdoses, the fucking drug crimes. So
the far leftists.
Yeah, I don't know
the blue hairs.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're allowing it. What was that?
Well,
term?
right, but they're still causing violence. Like you have Antifa and all these other groups down there that have been causing issues for years now.
I know. Why can't we go back to the days where I was just like, oh, you just had skins and sharps?
Oh yeah, exactly.
That was it.
Them. Yeah,
that was all you had to worry about. Yeah. You're like, wait, is that bald guy a skin or a sharp?
Yeah.
If it's a sharp, this is cool. If it's not, uh-oh.
I don't follow.
Oh, skinheads and
two
sharps.
gangs that were down there.
Was it?
Sharps were skinheads against racial prejudice.
Yeah, they would beat up the Nazis.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But they dressed like them.
Yes.
So you just didn't know which one was which until you got
check
wait,
their laces.
No, well that actually was I think true. I think that actually was true. On the Doc Martens, because that was the thing they wore.
We knew a guy that was hanging around the sharps. Is
that Myrick?
Yes.
Yes. He's such a dipshit.
He's such an idiot.
Remember when he went to jail and decided to join a prison gang in jail? He was in jail for 2 days.
Yeah.
And he's like, I had to join the whites.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're in county, dude.
You're in county lockup.
I know.
What the fuck, dude? He's the first guy that would just immediately be like, oh, you're gonna protect me? I'll blow you. It's just fucking insane. Yeah, I don't understand that shit at all.
This guy. He was a pathological liar. He would just make shit up, just so that you would, whoever he was around, he would make shit up to try to impress them.
Yes,
and it was always awful. He was so terrible
for no reason other than at the time you couldn't check it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the time we didn't have the easy access to every internet site that we do now.
Right.
So he would be able to just make anything up and be like, yeah, this is what I did. This is how cool I am. I think it comes from the fact that his mom and him, they always had to lie to his dad.
Yeah,
because
dad
of it.
was a military guy.
Military guy, also an alcoholic that would have beat the fuck out of him, I think.
I'm pretty sure that.
But that could have been made up too, because he made up everything.
It could have been made up.
A whole family of liars.
Yep.
Remember how scared he got?
Oh, I remember that. That was hilarious. But I think we talked about that on the show once before.
Probably.
So the Tesla issue is just been getting worse and worse, and now the FBI is getting on it, and the federal government is going to start, dropping the hammer on these people, which they should.
And it should be charged as domestic terrorists.
I agree. These people should go away and go away for a long time.
And I would feel the same way if they were going in, if it was a right-leaning side going and firebombing fucking...
abortion clinics.
Yeah.
Well, that's always been a terrorist move. Or going to Starbucks. They're like, we don't like your fucking Happy Seattle coffee.
Right.
Okay, fine. Don't shop there. That should be the way that this works. Oh, you don't like Tesla? Don't fucking shop there.
Our camera froze there for just a second.
Typically boycotts do really well.
Yeah,
I don't think they do.
Well,
better than firebombing.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
Actually, boycotts can do really well, but the only problem is you need to have the momentum. You need to have a lot of people getting involved in it for it to really make a dent.
Don't buy gas day. That's supposed to bring the price of gasoline down when everyone on a certain day doesn't purchase gas.
Yeah,
which never fucking works.
If I'm on E, I'm gonna buy gas. I have shit to do.
I'm not gonna prepare for it.
The Bud Light boycott thing that actually did put a dent into
that
Bud
one
Light.
was huge.
It
dude.
was.
I mean,
but that's what I mean. You need that kind of momentum to really have an effect. Obviously, a company as big
Shane
as Bud
Gillis
Light
saved that place.
More, but
Shane Gillis definitely did. The other thing about that whole thing is read the fucking room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your Bud Light is like a college party drink.
Yeah.
Or a redneck, good old boy.
Right.
Drink.
Yeah,
exactly.
You have basically those two demographics, and you're like, hey, why don't we put this trans person on?
Annoying trans person.
It's like, what the fuck? That is not gonna work.
The in your face.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm trans.
Yeah.
Notice me because I'm trans.
The person that's obviously just trying to get
the trans
attention.
person. The trans people are like, Jesus, this person's annoying as hell.
Yeah. Well,
but they wouldn't say it out loud
Of course
because
not.
You know what I mean.
Gays have the same thing. It's like, oh my god, this person is fucking gay because they're sucking a dude's dick.
No, they're not even that. They're just walking down the street and fucking like Daisy Dukes and combat boots.
Yeah.
Fucking.
What are you doing?
And one of those shirts that's all tied up like this.
Yeah, and a tutu or
and
something
going,
like that.
hey guys, and you're like, what the fuck? You're like, there might be a line where you're too gay.
Well, and the thing is, it's the serious trans folks should be pissed off with these people because those people give their whole movement a bad name. And,
That's the same thing with us.
When they lose credibility.
The white guys hate the fucking skinheads.
Yeah.
They give us a bad name.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That's every demographic has their extremists that make the whole demographic look like shit.
Yeah, Montel Williams and your completely shaved head.
Yeah. I don't get that.
Montel Williams.
I don't get the reference at all.
You skinheads.
Oh.
Montel Williams.
Oh yeah, he was a skinhead.
Completely shaved head.
Was he black?
Yeah. That's the joke.
Oh.
Follow along. Kevin got it. Actually, speaking of like kind of bald black dudes, George Foreman died.
He did?
I thought he was already dead.
Oh.
No, George Foreman died a couple days ago.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All the greats are dying.
And he named all of his kids George.
Did he?
All
really?
of them. He had like 5 kids. Even the daughter's name's George. Named everyone.
Georgiana.
No, George. All of them George.
Yeah. He's a simple man with simple things.
I think it's because he was a boxer and he got hit in the head a lot of times.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can remember my name.
That has nothing to do
Made a
with
great grill though.
Dude.
Did he though?
George Foreman grill. That was
Yeah,
a great thing.
that actually made him
He
more.
didn't make it.
Well,
I know, but
no, but still, I mean, it's his.
It was
name
supposed
is
to
on
be
it.
the Hogan grill, the
Yes.
Hollywood Hogan.
Was
Hulk
it
Hogan
originally
was supposed to do it.
It
Oh,
made
whoa.
so much more money for him than boxing ever did.
Absolutely.
It was like a Dre. Dre's headphones made more
Yeah,
money for him.
that's
than-
how he became a billionaire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beats.
But yeah, man, the George Foreman grill's pretty damn good.
Well, I think
I used to have one.
George Foreman, at least I think had like $500 million from that.
Yeah, I believe it, man. They
You
sold
know?
like crazy.
Yeah. Well, you could cook things fast.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
a-
No,
it was an
and
indoor
it
grill.
It genuinely was a good grill. But
Yeah, Hogan's kicking himself.
I bet he is.
Dude. He's like, I made a porn. with my friend's wife.
And a really
My son's a
crappy
murderer.
reality
My
show.
wife's a slut. My daughter's a slut.
And my daughter looks just like me. She looks fucking crazy.
She does have a very pronounced jaw.
Masculine features.
Yeah,
but I think
she
his
does.
son's still in jail for killing that person.
Didn't he hit it with the car?
Yeah, ran
Yeah.
someone over. Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, the wife that he banged, it was Bubba the Love
Yes.
Sponge's wife, right?
And they said that's where he said the N-word too, like during that. Like, and that was the thing that got him in trouble. It wasn't the fucking his wife.
Not the screwing Bubba's wife. It
I'm
was
not
the
even
N-word.
joking about that. That's insane, right?
It's crazy.
Celebrities are crazy, man.
I know.
Yeah, I never understood like I never understood the fanfare, the like fanboying and fangirling over a celebrity.
Well, the fact
never.
that they like make a show about that family blows my fucking mind.
Me too.
About
I
any
mean,
celebrity
yeah.
family, the Ozzy Osbournes, the fucking
Yeah.
Hogans, anyone that says, "Hey, that'd be a great idea. Let's have a camera crew in our house nonstop and film our interactions on a daily basis."
Film their just life.
The fucking
you know?
Kardashians, for fuck's sake.
Blame
dude.
MTV. MTV
Yeah.
started all
Oh,
of
well,
this.
MTV
drink
did
it up.
start
That's
it
the
all.
thing.
Yep.
Blame the viewership, dude. If
Well, I agree.
Good
we
point.
we as the audience fucking strive on that shit,
But
dude.
don't say we. I don't watch any of that shit.
You
'cause
never
it
watched
never made any
Hollywood
sense.
Hogan's or Hulk
No.
Hogan's TV show.
Never, not once.
Not the Osbournes.
I've seen bits and pieces,
I
but that's just because
saw-
it was on,
I saw
and
some.
not from me.
I saw some of the Osbournes back in the day.
Yeah.
But
Because
I
everyone
think I
loved
only-
Ozzy's.
That's pretty fucking. And the funny thing is, he said something profound every
yeah.
time. Every time, it was always like a
He was an
Hemingway.
oracle, for fuck's sake. It's just no one understood him.
Yeah, he was fucking. He was tossing out like poetry, like Frost.
No, he's actually predicting the future to a T, and like people go back and look at it and translate it.
No,
and
we-
they're like, oh my god, he predicted 9/11.
We come to find out he was actually speaking an ancient dead language the entire time.
Oh, he's one of the originations of that
The pyramid?
thing.
yes.
It's because
Yeah.
of Osbourne. It's because of Ozzy Osbourne and this fucking pyramid
Go
shit
back
going
to
on.
season 1, episode 7.
Yeah, right.
Columns and spirals. And you're like,
Anunnaki.
did he say something? Yeah, the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
I know that's Rogan's like one of his favorite
Yeah.
fucking ones.
But speaking of the pyramids, now there has been a massive development
Here
with the
comes the
Egyptian
naysaying.
pyramids. And that is the fact that the scientists have found with this new
Atlantis.
form of yes, Atlantis in Egypt.
It was
they've-
technically in Africa.
In this new, watch, I don't remember exactly where it was supposed to be, but anyway, so they apparently found the structures underneath the pyramids, Giza, and a couple of the other ones as well. I guess the ones that are closest to
There's
Giza.
3 of them.
Yeah, and these things are enormous. Now, they don't know who built them, but these things go 2 kilometers deep, directly down into the ground, into the bedrock.
The weird thing is too is the top starts as columns and spirals,
Yes.
and they don't know what those are for.
No.
And they go down about 600 meters,
Uh-huh.
right? So the next 1.4
That's
thousand meters is like this super sized structure that's underneath
yes, and we've got right here a picture. See, this is the supersized structure down at the bottom. These like square shaped structures, and those are the parts that at the bottom of them is the bedrock.
Well, here's
and I mean it's massive.
The wild thing about this is that there's been theories in the past that the pyramids were actually designed for like electrical production.
I've heard that theory.
What does this shit
What
look
is
like?
this?
But what does
Yeah.
this shit look like? It looks like things that you would have in electrical
Yeah, like
production.
these coils.
Yes.
And it's, and then, I mean, they're enormous. And the thing is that,
Oh, well, that's the actual image underneath.
yeah, here's the actual images that they got. Now this is
I don't know
so
how
listen,
to read this.
So it's extending. So, okay, the team identified 8 descending wells about 33 to 39 feet in diameter, extending at least 2,130 feet below the surface. The right image shows the wells, and the right feature points on where they are located under the pyramid. And so obviously you kind of need to know what you're looking at.
Well, yeah, no, that's actually what the MRI of my knee looked like.
Yeah, I bet.
It's someone's sonogram is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the baby.
It's
It's
a boy.
showing.
So now,
Mazel tov.
okay, so now apparently, what's interesting
Not in
about
Egypt.
this? So what got these scientists to want to look underneath the pyramids to see if anything was there is apparently in the Egyptian Book of the Dead there is mention of these structures underneath.
Does it mention
the-
what?
No, well, they say, let's see here. It says they said in chapter 149 of the Book of the Dead describes 14 dwellings of the divine, which the team interprets as describing remnants of an ancient civilization existing before dynastic Egypt. I mean, and see here, it also says it said the team also said they used Turn King List or Royal Canon, which is an ancient Egyptian document that features the name of kings, including gods and demigods who supposedly ruled Egypt before the first recorded dynasties. And I mean, let's see here. It also says the ancient texts provide a whole series of references that is about a pre-existing civilization that lived in the region before a cataclysmic event. Now,
And then showed where the Stargate is.
yeah, but now there's been a lot of talk. Like there's a lot of archaeologists as well as people like Graham Hancock and others who have talked about a possible cataclysmic event that happened 12,000 some odd years ago.
Yeah,
the Younger Dryas impact theory.
Yeah, where what they believed is all the flood myths
came
from that because what happened is they believe is that up in the northern hemisphere where the Arctic like ice was,
it was just a giant ice sheet.
Basically like Canada was basically all glaciers at one point. And they believe that right around 11,000 years ago it was, and that impact from asteroids or comets
either
or something,
comet or asteroid, something like that,
came down and melted basically everything up to like where the permafrost is.
Yes, and caused massive flooding throughout the whole world.
Yeah, which is why you would have flood myths in many cultures.
Many cultures, many religions, all around the world have these myths, and which is why there so many people believe the Bible idea of the worldwide flood and stuff. Well, maybe not on that level, but still, it was. I mean,
we're gonna have to change that name just like the WWE did because Worldwide Flood.
WWF.
Oh, you're right.
You can't do that.
Worldwide Experience?
No, that's WWE, dummy. Worldwide.
Drenching?
Worldwide drenching event.
Yes, there we go.
WWDE.
So it says at the end of the wells were massive rectangular enclosures. Yeah, each measuring approximately 260 feet per side, according to the researchers. Each of these enclosures contain 4 shafts that extend from the top and descend downward.
Funny, aliens just put a giant dick down there to make fun of the Earth.
So the researchers believe that there are other structures reaching more than 4,000 feet below the surface. The scans captured structures extending along the northern side with a tuning fork shape.
You know, I really wish they would go with the same measurements on this because now we're in feet, and before that they were talking meters.
Yeah, you're right. I wish they would keep them uniform.
Liberty units.
But at Liberty units.
Like freedom fries?
Yep.
I remember those.
But it's just, look, this is insane. This is a crazy discovery.
This bullshit is what it is.
And why say that?
This is a steaming pile of bullshit because none of this is a valid means of exploration.
No, but Egypt won't allow it either.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Egypt
saying.
won't allow anybody
All
to
of this
go
is speculation. This is all speculative.
It's not speculative, though. They
less
did
speculation.
have technology that they're able to see these things with. It's
Yeah, because this is basically LiDAR on drugs.
Yes.
The claim of using radar inside the pyramid is false.
Well, it's not radar.
And the techniques employed are neither scientifically approved or validated.
By who?
Say the top Egyptologists.
So
yeah, but those
are
guys,
those Egyptologists from Egypt?
Yes,
because they would like to keep the orthodoxy.
They actually the top people in Egypt have always been naysayers to everything.
Zahi Hawass is the main one.
Yeah, although he's coming around on some stuff.
He has been.
Yeah,
but that's because him
that's
and
what this guy. That's the guy's name that said that.
Yeah.
Zahi Hawass. He's like the main. He's like very high up in the Egyptian.
He's also the one that allows and disallows people to do stuff there.
That's right. Yes.
Again, so none of this is. This is all unfounded. This is all speculative.
We found it.
But it's not
It's not, though.
speculative.
Yeah, that is. Those are cartoon images.
That's not
okay,
a card.
no.
Go back up, Kevin. That is a fucking real image. That's real.
That's what it looks like, huh?
No,
So
that's the exact. It's a
it's
photo fucking image.
obviously a rendition of what they.
What are you
think
talking
is
about?
down
What they
there.
what they think might be down there.
Well,
Not even
the
what
thing
they've
is,
seen.
The fact is,
Go back up.
The fact is, their technology
No, that's not
has
what I wanted.
found something massive underneath.
Yeah, compacted
pyramids.
fucking sand.
No, it's not. There's
No.
actually structures down there.
What's this, Tim?
I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I'm looking at a blue screen with some red lights on it.
This is another MRI of my other knee.
Again, I don't know how to read those things anyway, but from what I'm understanding on my end, I think that I agree. This is all speculative and basically people just trying to sensationalize something that's not
I'm
not
trying to
there.
find
Trying to bring more
out
attention
what
to
the
Egypt
stuff
because
is
Egypt is a
called.
fucking armpit right now and it's disgusting.
But you're being.
It's covered in trash and people don't want to go there anymore.
No, that's India.
No, it's Egypt as well. Egypt is terrible now. Tourists hate the place because you're inundated by all these people trying to sell you shit or swindle you.
Yeah,
It's
there's
awful.
well, there's people that sell you trips to the top of the fucking pyramids, which you're not supposed to do
And
anyway.
Here's a camel ride for free. They'll take you to the middle of the desert and say, well, the camel ride back is going to cost you $100.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that, but this I don't think has anything to do with it.
I think it does. I think they're trying to bring tourism back to Egypt because of this nonsense.
Yeah,
Well,
but what would you be touring? You're not seeing any of that.
Well, it's, again, to remind people, hey, the pyramids are still here. We still got cool stuff. Our food might make you, shit your insides out. And our culture is terrible and we'll treat you like garbage, but we'll certainly take your money.
I think you're just ethnocentric.
It could be, but from all the videos and such I've seen of that place, I don't ever want to go at all. It looks like a miserable place to visit.
I so hope that like a week from now you go, no, those were India, because that would be hilarious. What is that one? Is that like?
So this one, it says the team claims this scan shows a vast city hiding beneath the pyramid.
What doesn't so that's
Well, we can't. You and I and Shane, we aren't trained to read.
I
these
know how to
things.
do this. Look, I can see it. Look, go back up.
ridiculous.
Look, you can see that's
There's
all
the Twin
a city.
Towers.
Yeah, no, and there's the plane flying into it. Again, Kevin, here's another fucking spot where if you would have just brought up a video of 9/11, you would have been hilarious.
The second tower just got hit.
If Kevin would have brought that up, it would have been so
So-
great.
That'd be a tough one to pull up that quick.
I
So
know.
they've been using this technology
It's gotta have it on a
from
button.
2 satellites positioned about 420 miles from above Earth,
Okay.
and
All
they're
right.
using it to bounce back signals and bounce signals around within the Earth.
Yeah.
That's how they're seeing these things. And basically, what these photos are of
That looks like the coil.
Nonsense.
those are the signals of the radar bouncing off those structures and being sent back to the
From the side.
No, it's bouncing all over. It's 3-dimensional.
The satellites can be anywhere.
No,
Yeah.
I get that, but
But the radar, the technology itself, it's bouncing these signals in the Earth, so it's literally bouncing off the walls and stuff underneath the ground.
Yeah,
the
and
Earth walls.
And the
underneath
sen-
the
using
ground.
sonar or
Well,
the-
they're using this new technology that they've got. That
yes.
it's like a combination of like radar and some other stuff.
And basically, the sensitivity of it would be to where if it hit something, a specific density is when it would bounce back. type of shit.
Right.
nonsense.
So it's
At 420 miles above the Earth.
but they use
Yes.
this. They use this to find archaeological
Children.
dig sites and stuff like that.
Missing kids
all
from
over
milk
the
cartons.
world.
We won't use technology to do that, Tim.
But hey, they use this sort of
a lucrative
these
business.
kinds of technologies to find like dig sites all over the world, and they found places like Göbekli Tepe with
Göbekli
technology
Tepe is
similar
one.
to this.
They've
With this
found-
technology.
similar technology. This is new.
They've actually found stuff too
This
in
is
the.
nonsense is what it is.
They've actually found stuff too like this in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Stuff in areas that nobody,
Yeah.
at least that we can think of, has been to in centuries.
Well, and that's one thing. The Amazon there's so much of it that
Say
hasn't
vast.
been explored. It is vast.
Okay, there we go.
But there's so much of it that has not been explored in so many years because it's just so dense.
Well, here's the crazy thing: is this is what the Amazon is what like Egypt used to look like.
Yeah,
It used to be like that.
it did. It used to be a blush, green.
The other weird thing about
Landscape.
the Amazon is that's all man-made. That's a man-made fucking forest.
Yes, it is.
From
They use
ancients.
It's the soil that they had,
Yep.
right? Yeah. It's this
They use
really
that, and it's super productive soil.
nutritious. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't know how they did it. They modern technology doesn't understand how they figured out how to make this type of soil. And I
Yeah,
think
you're
that's
right.
like most of the Amazon,
Mhm.
like the rainforest itself. Imagine what's actually fucking hidden there.
Oh, I mean, there's probably old ruins of cities and stuff that
Yeah.
from
Kevin's hopes and
civilizations we don't
dreams.
know.
Kevin's
The lost city of Z.
Kevin's samurai sword somehow down there.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Yeah, I don't buy into it. I need more conclusive proof.
Well, this is
just
also
sensationalized bullshit.
early them just coming out with early findings.
Yeah.
So
But Tim, you used
obviously this is going to lead to more research, and we will hopefully find out more as time goes on. But this is just preliminary stuff,
and Tim, you used to believe in like the word of Joseph Smith, so I don't know if I can take your speculation.
It wasn't his word; it was God's word. Jesus, Shane.
We all need a collab.
His seer stones told him.
That's true. And then the second Seer Stones did the same thing.
Okay,
but
so
differently.
the technology they used is called synthetic aperture radar, SAR technology, which involves
now I know what it means.
sending radar signals from satellites to photograph the pyramids and analyze how they bounce back to map underground structures, including those beneath the pyramids of Giza.
So this is how I would think that it works then. When it sends out a signal, that signal has different wavelengths within it, right?
Yeah.
And so when it hits like the surface, it'll send a signal back. When it hits underneath the surface, because the other wavelength is now going further, it'll send a signal back when it hits some structure or something.
Well, and
whether
right
it's
here-
rock or whatever.
Yeah, well, and right here it says the experts monitor how the signals bounce back and converted them into sound waves, allowing them to, quote, see through solid stone and map out underground structures in 3D.
So they convert it to sonar, essentially.
Essentially, yeah.
How do we know they're aqueducts or aquifers or something like
Well,
that?
I mean,
But
maybe they are. You know,
even
we
if
don't
it-
know what they are.
Well, even if it was aquifers, 2 kilometers under that? That's insane.
That is massive.
How is that a big deal?
It's
2 kilometers?
what is it, 1.2 miles?
Yeah, 1.2 miles maybe.
So
yeah.
1.2 miles under
Deep,
the surface.
directly down.
Or is they found natural wells?
No, not natural.
No, they're
wells.
not natural. They're
How do they-
structures. They're actually
those pillar things
built.
with stairs is nonsense. That's bullshit.
That's
I'm talking
not
about
stairs.
the city thing that we supposedly just saw.
Well, that's under. I think that was
Because again, that could just be pockets of moisture.
No, but they would know. They
Yeah,
would.
they would be able to-
know if it was pockets of moisture.
How?
Because of the way
The sound bounces?
the way the sound bounces
Or
off
the
way
radar.
At
yeah.
2 kilometers under the Earth's crust.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, you got to remember. Well, like they
Look,
they
leave it
said
to
right
the
here,
experts.
They can literally see through the stone.
Show me the 3D model that it was created, that actually created it, and not their speculated model.
No, we
no,
showed
no.
you.
Well,
the-
I showed you.
Images.
We showed you. No,
Show
we
me some
showed
fucking blue and
we
white.
showed you what they put out.
there was green.
There was green and there was
There's
red.
red.
Some yellow.
There's yellow.
And then I saw some drawings. It looked like some fucking 4-year-old did with crayons.
None of them looked like crayon drawings.
There was crayon
Outside
handwriting
the
on one
line.
of them. It was like, this is the Pyramid of Giza.
R's backwards.
Fantastic. can't even do his Z's right. They look like little squiggly lines.
Well, yeah, because you're taught 2 different ways to do it when you're a child. It sucks.
So listen to this. Researchers have also investigated the electromagnetic response of the Great Pyramid of Giza to radio waves, finding that the pyramid has the ability to concentrate electromagnetic energy inside
Please, give me a goddamn
So this might
break.
actually be a fucking place that they actually use to produce energy.
Possibly.
Nonsense.
The Anunnaki might be real.
But we don't know. This is just stuff that different researchers you see in that one with the bounce and the radio waves to find the electromagnetic response. That's a totally different team of researchers that did that. That wasn't these same guys.
They're all in on it together.
Yeah.
They all want that precious fucking tourism
money is what they want. That's all they're fucking after.
Because a lot of people go for fucking scientific tourism.
We're going to test the sand here.
Dude, no, if they had...
This sand is sandier than this sand.
Tim, if they had your ladyboys there, they'd get some tourism.
There are some, I think there's some.
In
there's-
Egypt?
there's
They
some
probably
Egyptian
beat them to
ladyboys,
death.
Yeah. They get stoned real quick.
Yeah, and not the fun kind.
It's all speculative. It just said right there.
No, it's not speculative.
I find a counter to it then.
Well, I mean, obviously,
Get out of your echo chamber and find something on the other side of it, Kevin.
I'm not in an echo chamber.
Chamber.
There are obviously archaeologists that are saying that this is fake news basically. But the thing
Basically.
is, a lot of these people that are saying that are people like Zahi Hawass and other people that maybe they don't understand the science that these people are doing, or they just have a reason to, keep up
Hide
the
it
orthodoxy
to
of what there
protect
is.
the aliens.
I'm not talking about aliens. I'm just saying these findings.
No,
I didn't jump to aliens.
What's his name?
Zahi Hawass.
Okay, yeah, you keep saying that.
It's fun.
That guy, I don't know if he's the one that didn't allow it, but in the King's Chamber, there's actually a chamber below it that they will not let anyone investigate in any way.
Yeah.
And they've been at that for, I think, the better part, almost a century, where they just will not allow anyone in there to look at anything.
And they also found the chamber within the Sphinx that they won't allow anybody into either.
Well, and they've also found potential structures under the Sphinx, but they won't
They
allow
won't let
anybody
excavate. Yeah. So it's there is definitely something else going on with these underneath and
With
inside
the Egyptian
these structures.
government.
Yes.
Yes.
And I actually do think that part of your theory is actually correct on this. They won't allow it because of the tourism. They want the tourism.
For sure.
They won't allow it any excavating there because they'd have to shut down the biggest portion of their tourism in where at in Egypt is that? I forget.
Giza.
It's the Giza Plateau.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
I mean, there's a
it's
city
not
right
far,
next to it.
I think it's not far from.
Is it Cairo?
I think it's Cairo.
Okay,
yeah.
so if it's Cairo, the biggest part of their tourism is the pyramids.
Uh-huh.
It's the Westerners that come over and check out the pyramids.
And get swindled out of their hard-earned
Yeah,
money.
no, that absolutely happens, but that's not the government doing that. That's just the local populace.
It is the government.
Oh,
They're not doing anything about these people.
So they have their own fucking
They have their hands in
USAID.
the pockets too.
They have their own USAID
Yes,
over
they
there.
do.
Yeah, it's definitely it's Cairo.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, but I didn't want to fucking just yell it out.
The Giza Plateau, where the pyramids are situated, is located on the west bank of the Nile River, just southwest of Cairo.
They're gonna have to change that. Don't call it the West Bank. But no, I mean,
There
From
are
the river
other
to the
West
sea.
Banks. There are other West Banks in the world.
you can't say it though. No, but the biggest part of their tourism is going to be the pyramids, so they don't want more research on it. Back in when they first discovered the pyramids, obviously they don't have any tourism there,
Right.
Because they first discovered it.
Yeah. And there was lots of excavating going on in the 1800s, early 1900s, and stuff like that. And
they got to a point where they just said no more.
Yeah.
No mas.
It's just
Second news of the New York Times there. The pyramids of Giza are near a Pizza Hut.
What?
oh wow, it
Go ahead
does
and
say that.
bring that up on the screen.
It's good to
We
know.
need to know which Pizza Hut this is.
And other sites that
But I
may
meant this
disappoint
screen,
you.
though.
That's funny.
What?
Oh, this is New York Times. You have to
You
fucking
subscribe to
they
get
make
their
you
fucking
subscribe.
nonsense.
They're so
Not going to
lame.
happen, New York Times. The failing New York Times.
Yeah,
Fake
they're
news.
garbage. All right.
But yeah, I think this is a huge fucking thing.
Yeah,
It's
I think
huge.
it's huge too. I Cannot wait to find out more information.
It'll come
about
and go. It's going
to take
nonsense.
it's going to take years and years for them
Nothing will
to
come of
start
it.
getting more information. But also, if the Egyptian government and other people like Zahi Hawass and stuff don't let anybody in there to get a better look, we may never get answers to this.
What's their currency over there?
shekels.
That's not what it is. I mean, they're
Schmendricks.
around 5,000 years ago, there was people that had that as a currency there.
They'd shake their handful of shekels. The Egyptian pound, huh?
The Egyptian pound, yep.
What?
Yep. The Egyptian
Sharm el
pound.
Sheikh.
So what is it to U.S. dollars?
Oh, boy.
2
0
cents.
point is, yeah.
2 cents. To
2
the
cents.
Gets me one of their
to the
dollars.
dollar.
So they're trillions of dollars in fucking industry over there.
Yeah.
God.
I'm going to invest in Egyptian pounds.
Well, I mean, technically, if it goes up 3 cents, you've made a lot of money.
Hey, yeah, you're right. I have.
You know.
And hey, actually, it has kind of gone up a little bit
Yeah,
over.
it's-
You know,
Yeah, because that stupid news about the goddamn pyramid. It was like, oh my God, look at that. It's exactly when the news hit.
yeah,
Told you.
that is pretty much when the news hit. Yeah,
It's not.
Isn't that right? Yeah, the 21st, 22nd.
What a
Isn't that when it
surprise.
started coming out?
Nope. Check and see, when did it come out?
This article from the Daily Mail.
Because it would have been within a day of
It
it.
was the 25th.
Yeah, so it was like the 23rd
Yeah.
when this happened. So that's a day before.
Huh.
You think people just started buying into the
Huh.
currency that day, so that the next day
Buy
when
up
it lost a
Egyptian
ton?
currency, everybody.
Well, that's what it
They were-
was. It's because it hit the news, and everyone's like, well, the investors are like, well, that's a catchphrase right now.
But
Let's invest.
But it was the day or two after that it went down.
Yeah, because there was like, this is bullshit.
No. What I'm saying is, it went up, and then a day or two after, when they announced it was already going down.
Oh,
And
that was published. They announced it before that was published.
I think it
On
was
that page.
announced.
Yeah, that's a different. I mean, the actual announcement probably happened the same day, and then they decreed that it was bullshit, and they're like, all right, never mind, get my money out
No,
of there.
not everybody. You and one other guy.
Schmendrick or whatever the fuck his name was.
Schmendrick.
Hassam Hassel or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think it was Hassan.
Hassan bin Laden.
Hassan bin Laden. That's his name now.
That's his name.
God damn it.
That's great.
I hate it when this does it.
Hassan bin Laden. That's the dumbest.
It's so stupid.
That's the funniest too. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, all the news actually came out after the rise in that.
The drop.
No, the rise.
So, okay, so
Yeah, the
I mean,
American
there's
news.
You know, there's actually
No.
there has been a lot that has been going on lately.
Like what?
Well, I guess we could talk politics, or we could talk video games, or we could talk about
Video
certain-
politics.
or a certain comedian that is in some hot water.
I wouldn't call him a comedian.
He's what?
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Joe Gatto is not a comedian.
Just because
No.
he's not a stand-up comic, he's still a comedian.
That's not the same
But
thing.
actually, no, he is. He does.
He
do
does
stand-up.
stand-up.
He does do stand-up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the other guy does.
No.
Sal does stand
Sal
up.
definitely
Yeah.
does.
Murr does stand up.
So there's
All of them
I
do
think they all
stand-up.
do stand-up.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they
don't
do.
really-
What the fuck would you call him then?
I don't know.
An
Dude on a
entertainer?
show? Yeah, entertainer sounds about right.
Yeah, but still, it's comedy. I mean,
It's a
they're-
comedy show,
they-
for fuck's
you know,
sake.
there are different
Yeah.
types of comedians. Like Jim Carrey's a comedian.
No, he was also,
No,
he
I
was
was
a stand-up.
yeah.
I wouldn't call him
But
a
still-
comedian.
still
I'd
the
call him an
fact is,
actor.
These
Well,
guys
I'd call
do
him maybe
do
a comedic actor.
but these guys do stand-up. Just because they're not
Just because
as
they're standing on a
well-known-
stage doesn't mean it's stand-up.
That's stand-up comedy.
That's not stand-up.
What the fuck is stand-up comedy then?
Funny.
It
Entertainment.
doesn't matter if it's
Spoken
funny or
word.
not. The fact is, it's stand-up comedy. Have you seen any other
It
stand-up
doesn't
comedy?
matter. I've seen fucking Sal's.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
He's actually pretty good.
Okay. Well, there you go. I haven't seen Joe Gatto's. I haven't seen Murs, and I haven't seen the other
Yeah, I
guys.
haven't seen any of their other stuff. I don't think.
But that doesn't. Just
but
because
I-
you haven't seen it doesn't mean they're not a comedian.
I disagree with you. I think.
Well,
I
that
think.
doesn't make no sense.
I think stand-up. Because I think that there's a very distinct thing: stand-up comedy versus like a comedic act.
But they are doing stand-up comedy.
Let's see what Wikipedia has to say.
Stand-up, yeah, they each have their own shows that they do on
Or
their
should
own.
we call it Shanepedia? We should just go by what Shane says.
Nope,
'cause
I
his is
What are
the
you
final
talking
word.
about?
I don't agree.
American comedian.
You make no
thing
sense.
is about him.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
No.
Doesn't have to make sense to you.
It has to
I'm
make
not here
sense
for you.
logically.
I'm not here for you.
Joseph Anthony Gatto Jr. is an actor, producer, and improvisational comedian. From
Okay, I'll go
Staten
with
Island.
that. Improvisational
Improv.
comediin. Fine, I'll go with that.
Okay, fine.
But I don't
Improv.
think
He's still a
stand-up.
comedian.
I don't. To me, to me, comedian is somebody that does stand up.
No,
Yes.
comedian is an umbrella term for different types of.
I know.
They do different kinds of comedy.
I know
Yes, stand-up is
technically.
one of those branches off that tree.
I know technically, but when you talk to somebody and say, "Hey, comedian," it's stand up that people think of.
That doesn't mean that the other comedians don't exist. Other
To
types
me,
of
they
comedy.
don't.
Well, that's retarded.
Yeah.
That's
You can
retarded.
say whatever you want.
Regardless,
You're
he was
retarded.
recently accused of sexual assault
That's retarded.
You're retarded.
via TikTok and other social media outlets. Instead of going to the place, this person went to social media to complain about his or to allege that he had sexually assaulted her. Showed pictures of the bruises that she had allegedly received from him in the night in question.
Allegedly. What
her
you know? What
buttocks.
These people that go.
Oh, you mean
to-
part of sex?
So these people that go to social media instead of going to the police, I automatically doubt them from the get-go.
Yeah, this
Do
is.
you,
this
Kevin?
Is,
Yes.
Yeah, it's a means of trying
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Way to take a
defame
stance.
or.
Well, I do, because if they're doing that, that means they're trying to get clout.
The problem is we have to believe every. What is it? The Me Too thing.
Believe all women.
Yep.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah,
thought
that's
that
bullshit.
that's stupid. I think believe all evidence.
Yeah. Evidence.
Like real, if you've got evidence,
Absolutely.
fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But just to believe every accusation,
That's.
I don't take them lightly.
No. But the
but-
thing is, though, that's exactly why Me Too got out of hand, is because people would
Yeah.
believe and not actually investigate.
I mean, they took
you
down
know?
Louis C.K. for asking if he could jerk off in front of people, and them saying
Right.
yes. Like Sarah
Right.
Silverman famously stood up and said, "Yeah, no, he asked me and did it in front. I thought it was hilarious."
Yeah. Well, Sarah Silverman would.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like he asked, and then he got fucking railroaded for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, now if he hadn't asked and he just whipped it out and started doing it,
Yes,
like,
that's
yeah,
a crime.
That guy should, he should be in trouble for that. But the fact that he asked and wouldn't do it if they said no,
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, well, he's asking an adult for consent. You
Which-
know?
Remember, they were starting to put around college campuses consent forms.
Yes, they were.
So, where's the wrong?
Yeah, it even got to the point where
It's
they had
weird.
there was that commercial, or that it wasn't a commercial. It was like a skit where they had like the two college kids, like they're doing the forms, and everything, and
I've
then
seen that.
their lawyers are sitting on
shit,
either
it's
side of
Mary.
them, like
Well, yeah, that I think is the big problem.
Yeah.
I mean, for him.
They
So what
him
happened?
and his wife separated because of this.
Oh, really? So this guy actually has a possible.
Wait. No, this is. I'm reading.
I'm making things up.
I was gonna say, 'cause that's
I'm reading
that's a pattern right there.
Gatto
That's-
was involved with the Practical Jokers up until 2021, and in 2021 he shared a statement on Instagram saying, "Along with my friends, I've devoted a decade of my life to building this franchise and couldn't be prouder of what's been accomplished. However, due to some issues in my personal life, I have to step away. Bessie and I have decided to amicably part ways, so I need to focus on being the best father and co-parent to these two incredible kids." So this is in 2021.
Bullshit.
And then later
statements.
announced in 2023 that he and his wife had reconciled. So
I'm thinking this is not going to help.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen this. Joe Gatto, in his statement, says, "I have used poor judgment and as a result have violated the trust of people I love most. But anyone who knows me at all knows full well that I wouldn't assault anyone. Working on myself is an ongoing process, and now I'm going to take some time away from the public eye to focus on my energies where I need to."
Okay, let's go down a little bit.
Looks
The
like
name
he's
of
going
the
to an
accuser goes by
investigation.
Juicy B in her TikTok video saying, "I got sexually assaulted by Joe Gatto, the Impractical Joker. I'm sorry if you don't want to believe it. The people you idolize are not always going to be good." So yeah, she goes on to how
She was
he left
19.
teeth marks on her buttocks. The thing is there was she posted their conversations via text, and he met her. She showed some pictures of her with him, and she said, "Hey, I got tickets for your show." It's like, "Oh, that's great. It'd be cool to see you again." And then their conversation carries on to where she says she got really drunk one night at her friend's house. They started having a conversation via text, and he invited her up to his apartment / hotel room, to where the next day she had claimed that she was sexually assaulted that evening. So essentially, up until the point of the actual assault, it was consensual.
Huh. That's usually how it goes on date rapes.
Yeah. And
now, maybe that's not.
But she was drunk, and so she's probably making some poor decisions to go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he didn't have the presence of mind to say, "No, not a good idea. You're drunk. Probably shouldn't do this."
Well, and also since he's in his 50s and she's 19,
That
is weird. But that's still weird.
So
no,
it says,
I'm not saying none of us would do that.
So listen
I'm
to
saying
this
it's
here.
still weird.
So this is so there's apparently 2 accusers.
Oh, a second one's come forth. Huh?
Yeah, it says the second accuser says she was employed by the comedian prior to his departure from Impractical Jokers, which he announced in late 2021. Told people that she first met Gatto at one of his live shows.
That doesn't say comedy show.
When she was 15, and claims that as soon as she turned 18, his behavior shifted, becoming very flirtatious.
Oh, this is that whole fucking
grooming her.
Who was that was just or accused of it a few years ago? An actual comedian. What is his name? He was super friends with like Justin Bieber, and was
did he?
That was one of Justin Bieber's friends. That is true.
We all know Diddy did it though, right? We all still believe.
Did he do it?
Diddy did it, didn't he?
He did do it. Diddy did do it.
I can't even say it because it's just so much. Well, yeah, that guy's gone. I mean, like he'll be dead in a cell somewhere.
That's dropped from the whole fucking news stream, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They hit him in a cell.
Yeah, I don't hear much talk about it anymore.
Yeah, the list is pretty much just who cares, right? We got more important things to worry about, like the fucking pyramids of Egypt and the pillars below it. Who gives a flying fuck? Give us the goddamn list.
It's Chris D'Elia. That's who I'm thinking of. Chris D'Elia had this same thing where he was doing talking to girls at 17, all real, normal conversations.
Joe Gatto does stand-up comedy. There's a full comedy special he's got.
I still don't believe it.
You don't believe it, even though there's one right here?
Don't believe it.
One of his specials
I don't
is
believe he's a
literally right
comedian.
here. He is a comedian. He's doing stand-up right here.
You could say he's not a funny comedian.
I don't believe it.
That doesn't matter. He's still a stand-up comic.
I agree.
I think he's just a dude.
Joe Gatto messing with people.
Shane
Full
took
comedy special.
Don't believe him.
Took the pill, the argument pill tonight. I passed it over to him about, I had my pyramids. He has Joe Gatto. Kevin, what do you disagree with tonight?
The
show's over? We're over our time? You going to disagree with me on that one?
Yeah, we could go for another 10 more minutes.
Bullshit.
I think. No, I think you're wrong. We need a solid 12 hour
better.
12.
That's the disagreement I like to hear.
Do we want to end with the one thing?
Which one thing? Oh, yes.
We can't post that.
No, we can't. Go down. I think the next one would be better.
They did a terrible job of blurring that.
Yeah, they did.
Actually, let's end with that fucking flying car shit.
Okay.
So remember that
we posted a video of something similar.
Same car.
2 years ago.
Same car 2 years ago. This is them now. So before, remember, it was moving pretty slow.
Yeah, it was the Jetson is what they call it.
That's right, the Jetson One.
Yep.
And so the Jetson One, we talked about this. You're right. It's probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it might have been
so.
even the first season.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make basically a flying car for the everyday person. Now,
About
the
damn
battery,
time.
Fucking dope if they did.
Well, the battery life right now doesn't really work. They're about $100,000 for the vehicle.
Oh God,
it's expensive,
Yeah.
but I mean, you got to remember you're the first one in on this type of technology.
That's true.
You want to pull that up?
It'll take years for it to get better.
He's really
You're just
reaching for
fucking
it. He's
hovering.
sitting
Brought it up on the wrong side. All right, maybe I'll hit you. Nope, that's not working. We're having McNichols
here we go.
difficulties.
Hey, it wasn't my fault it went
Is
over
there an
there.
expand thing on the actual?
Yeah, can you make that bigger?
No, not these.
Why do you keep
Yeah,
moving
top
it?
right.
Go up.
That's about as big as it gets.
Go up. This is actually the second one. You had the first one. There you go. So this is it moving now. Like, this is way fucking faster than before. Before, I think it maxed out at like...
Yeah, he was being a chicken shit the first time.
Yeah, and I think when we first looked at it, it was maxing out at like 15 miles an hour or something. I think they're, going 40, 50 miles.
Dude.
Oh, dude.
That
Well,
look fun.
check out how he just goes... Oh, they show a landing of it. But, I mean, this thing looks like a blast.
It's like a big giant drone.
Well, and I think...
Same idea, right?
Very observant, Kevin.
Wow. He just starts dropping bombs on Ukrainians.
Guy's got handfuls of buckets of grenades, just tossing out.
We're
Merry
going-
Christmas, everybody.
We're
Das
going-
Vidania.
We're going directly back to World War I with that, because that's exactly how
He's playing
flight started.
Fortunate Son as he's doing it.
Some folks were born made to wave the flag. Ooh, that red, white,
Get
blue.
some.
But yeah, this looks like a fucking blast.
It does look fun.
I would love to take this thing and fucking just go to the dunes and just watch everybody riding below me.
Head over the lake or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta cross the river.
But yeah,
what's the price point on this bad boy?
So the
yet?
price
Have they
point-
put anything on that?
Yeah, originally when we first looked at it, it was $100,000.
That's not
was the
bad.
price point. No, for new technology that you can do. Now eventually these will probably be good enough to where you could actually go to work.
They'll never be legal. There's no way that they get legal ramifications.
Yeah, because
on
they,
it.
they would
I think they could.
they would have
Not
to
in our lifetime.
they would have to redo like all the
Traffic
flight
lines,
traffic,
everything
all
would
that
have to
stuff.
change.
Well, these things would have a max out altitude. It's the same thing with
And
drones.
people will modify them so they don't.
Oh, of course.
And who will monitor that? Who will police that?
Whoever puts the computer chip in it.
That's the other thing.
Oh,
too.
we don't want you to fly anymore.
Yeah.
Now
and
you're dead.
How many people are falling from the fucking sky because of this? Yeah, there's no
Can't
way.
wait.
There's no way that they're mass producing these things. I'd like them to. Don't get me wrong, but there's idiots
Yeah.
and
Oh,
rich
yeah.
idiots.
Well, I think that eventually these things will be a form
Look,
of transportation.
Think of how bad it is already with cars.
That's what I'm saying.
And think of the kind of damage someone could do with something like that. a
Imagine
flying
getting in
vehicle.
morning rush hour traffic in one of those.
Oh, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Just
It's not
fly
4
over
miles an
everybody.
hour
It's
on
not a
the
fender bender up in the air. It's death every fucking time.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no oh shit you bent my bumper. It's like oh
Yeah.
no I lost a fucking prop.
Well, just wait.
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Just wait till we mass produce gravity propulsion.
Yeah, well that happens.
That'll be fun. I'd be like, oh,
That's a ways off.
I'd like to go to Paris, and then you're just there. That would be
Isn't that what,
so
isn't
nice.
that what Elon's tunnels are supposed to be?
Not exactly gravity.
The boring
but-
company.
Yeah, the Boring Company. He wants to do basically it's high speed rail under the ground,
Yeah.
and what it would be is like,
It's
and
magnetic, isn't it?
Well, and the crazy thing
basically?
about it is you won't be able to tell how fast you're going because everything looks exactly the same as you're going through
I
it.
think he showed a short video. Of him
Yeah,
like,
they were-
we're going like what 70 miles an hour.
No, they were going like 120.
Yeah.
120 on that fucking thing underground, and
The
she was like, "How?"
reporter's well, oh
She's like,
shit.
"That doesn't even feel like it." Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're looking at the exact same thing the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were doing that out on the fucking street, wow, it
We're
feels
headed
Oh,
for
yeah.
great things, but we're also headed for our own personal destruction from this nonsense.
That's
God, I
right.
can't get the fucking word out.
AI is definitely going to be taking over.
Oh God.
Yeah, according to Bill Gates, it's gonna start taking over within the next 5 to 10 years.
It's dancing now.
They're
I
upgrading
know.
my house assistant soon with a new AI.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
functionality.
way, I was going to
Yeah.
say about that,
gonna lock your
about
fridge.
Alexa. They are now making it to where they're going to record all your information, everything you say.
They already
everything's
do.
No, but now they're getting rid of their privacy, the privacy guarantee or policy that they had in place. Getting rid of it.
They never
And-
had one.
Yeah, well,
I
they-
didn't sign
they do,
shit.
No, they do have. No, you don't. It's not that you sign it. It's that it's part of the ownership agreement. You know, that kind of thing. But they're getting rid of that, and so where they're going to start, basically recording and storing everything that
Can I
goes
have a-
on in your
Can I have a
house.
quick snack break in the middle of the show.
I
huh?
brought out the goddamn candy bar. This is the end of the show. God damn it.
Fine. It's the end of the show. God damn it!
I don't know. Maybe I'll make this a thing. Bring out a candy bar.
Signal the end.
Like, all right, it's over, guys. Candy bar's out. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your other friends. Tell your friends
everybody.
to tell your friends to
Yes.
tell their friends. tell people they don't like to people they like. I don't care.
Tell your friends to tell themselves.
And goodbye, everybody.
They dive into the madness. No time for control from politics to pop culture.